In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the results from ADP NFP last night. We're also going to be having a look at the latest from the tensions between China and America. And from there, we have a few other things looking at oil, the UK, and of course, what's happening in Hong Kong. Hello, and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alastair Schultz, and I'm going to be your host for today's trading journey. Now, the first thing to take a look at today is the results of the ADP NFP. We saw 2.76 million jobs lost in the past results, and it's now at an estimated 50 million people that have been affected by the current epidemic and job losses, or it may even include those who have had hours reduced. So workers that have been considered absent from work, and this is something we really need to take note of, is that are not counted in the current polls. So that is going to be problematic in the future because, and in the past as well, because when we saw those results at the 14% range for unemployment, then those numbers would have likely been about 5% higher had they include workers that were absent from work, or at least been told, don't come into work, we can't afford to pay you until the impending future. Now, from there, we have some expectations for unemployment to reach above 20%. The official forecast is meant to be 19.5%. But there are quite a few economists out there that are saying we think it's going to top out above 20% at some stage, which means it will rival what we saw during the Great Depression. Now, the next one is the news from US and China relations currently ongoing. Beijing imposed bans on US passenger airlines not long ago. They wouldn't allow them to sort of return to base or at least to the airport there. So the US has matched those bans and is now imposing a one-to-one flight matching to occur. In other words, for every US plane that is allowed to land in Beijing, America, or in China, America will allow one Chinese plane to land in the US. So we are seeing that tit-for-tat behavior continue. It is likely to keep on going this way for some time to come. In the UK, we have had a warning of a no-deal Brexit and to expect the possible worst-case scenario. Now, there has been quite a bit of speculation that some of the pro-no deal sort of guys in the UK Parliament are using the coronavirus to sort of help cover up a bit of the fallout that might have occurred from Brexit. If you remember before coronavirus, the no deal concept and the deal concept for a Brexit was a lot in the papers, and it was leaving a lot of different points of view. So right now, a lot of the Parliament, including Boris Johnson, are saying that they don't want a no deal exit, but to prepare for it. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. In other news for the UK, Beijing has sort of pushed out and told the UK to back off about what's going on in Hong Kong. And we know so far that the UK has offered about 3 million different residents of Hong Kong to be able to get citizenship in the UK. The other part of this is that we have seen HSBC push again against the UK and go with the opposite path. They are supporting the idea of the national security law and what it's really up stands for. We've also seen Standard Chartered Bank do the same thing. So now that we know a little bit more information on what sort of banks might be considering leaving, we can probably count out HSBC and Standard Chartered moving their regional HQs. But HSBC is not really a surprising one considering that they are a Hong Kong and Chinese bank. So we still can expect to see the others like Citigroup, Macquarie Bank, and any other sort of banking institutions that might be foreign owned to consider moving to other countries for a regional HQ. Now, we've also got some news on oil when it comes to OPEC. OPEC Plus cuts have been extended, or at least are looking to be extended. Saudi Arabia and Russia have both agreed to maintain their current cuts, but there have been a few countries out there doing some cut cheating. They have been producing more than they said they would, and they have sort of not been agreeing to the terms. Saudi Arabia and Russia have sort of banded together, and there is a meeting to be coming with OPEC Plus members, but they are looking to get compliance on these cuts. So therefore, they're expecting to get the members that have been cheating the cuts to not only continue with the cuts that are already planned, but to also do further cuts to match the amounts that they have cheated by over the next sort of month. So if we do see all of this working together, then the chances are we will start to see some oil prices going up. The backside risk to this is that Saudi Arabia and Russia might turn around and decide to do a bit of punishment if they don't adhere to the cuts, because they are capable of pricing the others out. We might end up with another price war. But too early to tell. Let's see what the OPEC meeting says next. Now, in terms of news coming out today, there are really only two things I'm watching for. The first one is the Hong Kong National Anthem Bill is set to be passed later today. So it'll be interesting to see what some of the reactionary response from the US, from the UK, Australia, and obviously most of the rest of the world on the Western side, what they might impose from this point on, and if there is further traction or protests even in Hong Kong about it. Now, the other one to look for is that the European Central Bank is going to be having a meeting today. I'm not expecting them to make any changes to rates, but I am going to be watching to see what they do with their quantitative easing and the proposed $750 billion of asset purchases they are planning. So that's really all I've got on for today for you. I may end up coming back this afternoon depending on what happens, but in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Now, if you do want to get in contact with me about anything, feel free to shoot me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get more great videos and content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.